Happening as we speak, search and rescue efforts continuing in central Texas. So far, floods have killed at least 119 people, making it the deadliest freshwater flooding event in the U.S. since 1976. More than 161 people still missing. One of the most heart-wrenching realities of all, some of the victims killed were campers at Camp Mystic, an overnight camp for children along the Guadalupe River. Some of them as young as 8 and 9 years old. 5 campers and 1 staff member remain unaccounted for tonight. Others, they had to swim to their safety.
The flood started getting bigger, and it was going up to, we have bunk beds in our cabins, and it was going up to the top bunk, and we had one choice, and we had to swim out of our cabins.
Just unimaginable what they went through. Now, if you grew up going to summer camp, you know the unbreakable bonds created there, especially during those all-important formative years. Many of you send your children to sleepaway camp each year, sometimes in the mountains of western North Carolina.
We got a good variety of ages out here, and we do all the traditional stuff from high ropes to paddleboarding to giant slides, fishing, arts and crafts, mountain biking, and you name it, we got a little bit of everything.
That is Shannon Robb. She is the executive director of YMCA Camp Wataya in Bryson City, which welcomes kids each week over the summer for 5 days of just pure fun. The last session at Camp Wataya this summer, it'll end on August 15th. But you remember last year, Hurricane Helene, it swept through back at the end of September. Had that come just a few weeks earlier, we may have seen similar rescues in western North Carolina involving campers at places like Camp Wataya. And North Carolina, as we know, not immune to floods. This week, in fact, areas in the Piedmont have seen serious flooding from all the rain we experienced as a result of Tropical Depression Chantal. Now, CBS News reports Camp Mystic in Texas has just gotten its emergency plan approved 2 days before the floods hit. So we asked Rob how her camp is prioritizing safety for your kids.
We're an ACA accredited camp, so the American Camping Accreditation, and there's a lot of safety standards we have to follow just being accredited with them. So we're really big on that in regards to ratios, just program quality, just all the things, and trainings and making sure we got proper trained staff for different program spaces. But also during our staff training, we put our staff through intense drills so they understand what to do in any situation, whether it's bad weather, if our camper were to go missing or anything, they know what to do. We also have satellite communicators as well, so if signal was down, we can still send out an SOS if needed in any situation. And then we also work with the local authorities as well in regards to being familiar with our property. We also work with local companies to help with busing or just being a location to go to if we ever had to evacuate the camp.
So if storm warnings come up, how are you hearing about them?
We have multiple apps. All of our staff have apps. We have lightning alerts. We can tell you when there's, lightning within 10 miles. We'll shut down activities, bad weather, anything along those lines. We bring the kids in as soon as possible.
We see the mountains behind you. When the water rises, it can rise quickly. How quickly can you get those messages? How quickly could you get out if you had to?
So all of our staff, every single cabin has a walkie-talkie as well, so they are getting notified right away. And we also have a giant bell on camp as well that we ring, and they know how many rings indicates an emergency, and they know what protocol to start putting into play and where to start taking the kids to.
We saw what Helene did and the damage that it incurred in so many places so quickly there as well. Did you sustain damage during that time? And if Helene had hit in July, during when camp season is really going on, what would the impacts have been?
We were very lucky compared to many, many people. We had very minimal damage out here at camp. When Helene hit, we definitely had a lot of water go through camp, if anything. But all of our structures are fine. We also have our own water plant, sewage plant. And so we were lucky to have that as well. And we're able to house folks, if anything, during Helene that might needed those necessities. And if it was during camp, we have multiple exit points.
Do you drill for this sort of thing? How do you communicate it to the kids then when they hear certain things?
Our staff definitely drill, not just during staff training, but we also do it in services throughout the summer too, to make sure they're on top of it. We time it so they realize how long it does to take to look for the item that we may hide on camp to find, and they get that adrenaline going. And even if it's just a fake item, they don't want to be in that position. And we talk about what do we need to do to be proactive? What do we need to know with all the what ifs in regards to when the moment comes? What are our actions? Where do we need to be? Safety is our priority. Our motto here is be safe, have fun. And all of our kids know that that is our motto while they're here at Wataya.
Since the tragedy in Texas, have you heard from parents? And if so, what are you telling them?
If anything, it was parents being incredibly supportive and understanding the camp world and how we're all connected, and just knowing that even though it wasn't here, it still affects us. It affects our kids, it affects our staff, in that sense of wanting to be a support in any way possible, near or far. You know, they've had a few questions of like, what do we do? And we've explained the same things I just explained to you. We also have a communication app with our parents, so I can send out quick emergencies to them. If like, hey, the power's out at camp, if you're trying to get a hold of us, just feel free to reach me on here. So parents have multiple ways to communicate with us as well if something were to happen.
Should point out too, counselors, they do have for their phones that have an enabling system that they can get alerts at any time if they need them.